Hey guys, Kris here. So today we have a very special video. I can't believe it. I'm sitting here with
Max Missoni.
this guy is the head of design at Polestar. I don't know, you don't need any introduction. So we're gonna do an interview today, and then afterwards we're gonna take a look at this car. I'm gonna show you it on the interior and on the exterior, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So, Max, you are the head of design now at Polestar. Where did you work before, and what cars did you do before you came to Volvo and Polestar?
I started, I started at VW Group. First a couple of years in Wolfsburg at the heart of VW. Then I went to Berlin, spent a couple of years in Berlin. There was like a future center, it's called today. It's like a company that looks for the whole, or like a little studio that looks for the whole range of brands of the group. Then I was, and now I can say was, because that just recently ended, I was head of exterior design at Volvo Cars for about 8 years, I would say, or 9. And since 2 years, I'm doing that in parallel with being head of design for Polestar. And now I've actually focused on Polestar, which feels quite good, I have to admit. It's been a lot.
So you had a 2-year window where you were head of design both places? Wow. So what was your first design at Volvo?
My first design, well, that's easy to answer because that turned into Polestar 1. So the first design when I came, what we did was the concept coupe.
Yeah.
And you probably remember it well. And it's also cool because it's very similar to the actual final product, the Polestar 1.
So in my personal opinion, if anybody cares about that, I think, and I've said it in videos before, I think the Polestar 1 is probably one of the best car designs of the last 10 or 20 years. Seriously, it's so beautiful, and I say this in every video I film on it. It's like pictures and video don't do it justice. It's such a beautiful thing in the real world. It's so stunning. So how are you able to make your concepts so close to, or how are you able to make the production version so close to your concepts? What do you do to make that happen?
I think it's a bit of both. It's definitely discipline within the process, but it also is the knowledge and experience in the beginning that you say, and the commitment to say we don't want to overpromise. Because I never enjoyed especially the disappointment part in concept cars when they actually hit the road and you're like, what, this is it? So I really don't want to give people that kind of anti-climax, if you will. So we really start with something that we know we can deliver.
I mean, and that's so cool. So did you also do the XC90?
It has already been in development for quite a couple of years, or I would say maybe a year or so before I joined, because that just that has been through a process. And then I joined and I influenced it towards the end. But so it really what my tenure, if you will, started with the concept coupe, and then XC60, S60, V60, XC40, and so on.
So you had an influence because you can clearly see like probably S90, V90 is your first real application. Yeah, you forgot. One of the most beautiful design sedans of the last 20 years, and you forgot it.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I mean it goes to your back catalog of good designs, right?
Yeah. I mean it's an amazing feeling to have completed a whole generation of cars, and now after completing it, and now the facelifts came out recently, and I'm really glad about this because sometimes there's certain things you wanna give another nudge, and now I feel okay, it's time to leave and move on, and now I'm moving on to Polestar, and we're starting from well, not quite zero. That's the beautiful thing, that the brand is actually rooted in Volvo, so we can also share the resources, we can share engineering knowledge, and I mean the brand will have such an accelerated start towards other startups, if you will, because we have that foundation within the Volvo group. So it doesn't really feel like a restart, but it still feels like a fresh new adventure.
Yeah, and so that's a nice segue into one of my other questions, is because your headquarters at Polestar is close to the headquarters with Volvo, right? It's in the same town. I don't know how close it is like physically, but it's quite close.
500 meters, I would say.
So, and you were head of design both places. You had this overlap this 2 years. Will you have any influence on future Volvo designs? I don't know. You may be not able to say anything, but
I mean, we developed a really good working relationship. Robin, who is head of design for Volvo, Thomas, who is head of design for the group still and CEO of Polestar, and then me as head of exterior then and now head of design for Polestar, so that I feel that we want to keep this relationship going. At Volvo, we had a really good teamwork there. We influenced each other. We had open discussions. So I think that energy, and you can see it in the cars, the holistic feeling towards the design, I think that stems from that kind of energy. And I have a little bit of a advisory role when it comes to Volvo, but that's more, because we had that tradition and we want to be able to give each other feedback.
And I'm so glad to hear that, because I switched to Volvo in 2016 with my XC90. That's why I said 2016, but it came out, it was shown at Frankfurt, the IAA in 2014, and then it came to market in 2015. And my whole life I grew up on BMW, Audi, Mercedes. I would always test drive the Volvos, but there was always something lacking. And then when I was going to get, my first luxury SUV back in 2015, I looked at the X5, the new Q7. I drove them all, and also the MLE or the GLE. Mercedes changed their names every 3 years, so it's hard to keep up. But that design, I saw it at the pictures, and I'm like, And then I saw one in real life. I remember it so vividly in Haugesund on the west coast in Norway. It was a black inscription on 21-inch wheels, and it was, my jaw dropped.
That's why the car was also launched in black, because in black the XC90 is quite a looker, isn't it?
Yeah, it was so beautiful, and I'm getting goosebumps just thinking of reliving the experience.
I like that, and I can feel that.
Yeah.
I can feel that when you do your work as well, and I'm the same.
Yeah.
And we have to keep this. I really, being so deep in that industry and doing it for so many years, I've been like, now somebody asked me recently, and I was like, 20 years. It doesn't really feel like this.
No.
But if you stop getting the goosebumps when you talk about these things, then probably it's worth looking at something else. But I still get them, and it's nice. Also, I need to say that because it's so true. In reviews with my team, when we look at something and somebody comes with an idea that is based on some direction that maybe I have given, but it surpasses that by such a margin, and I get goosebumps, or I get really emotional, and that's what I love about that job.
And also, your designs after that and the emotional aspect, and there are many different types of car buyers. A lot of people buy cars on stats, a lot of people buy cars on price, but a lot of people buy cars on emotion. And that's what I think you were able to do with Volvo and the designs of the latest generations, where it's an emotional, like where I live. Of course, I live in Oslo, like Gothenburg. We maybe have even more Volvos than in Sweden.
Is that possible?
Yeah, if that's even possible. But when I drive the Polestar 2, I'm driving now from Polestar, and then I see XC90s and Polestars, I'm like, they're so beautiful. And the S90s and V90s, all the designs, it's still like so many years after, they came to market, because cars aged quickly, right? Many cars. But it's such a classic and classic. Yeah, but you've been able to do that.
Not aging so quickly, and I think the track record shows it kind of works. And I think this is also why I chose to do this job, because you can infuse a product with character, you can infuse a product with emotion. That's very rare when you have, let's say, consumer electronic products. It's mostly about the interface and about the behavior, about the function that it serves. But with cars, there's this huge emotional component. And that's where it gets very artistic, where it turns nearly into there's the bridge to fine art, or to applied art in that sense, and that's what I like about it.
Okay, so that's a nice segue into this. So everybody knows what this is. We're going to give you guys a tour later on. You gave us a tour earlier. It's such an amazing thing, and it induces emotion. In photos it looks cool, in videos it looks cool, but seeing it here in person and experiencing it, I think is, to me, what the Polestar brand is about. Because everybody's doing electric cars. We're here at the IAA, where Ford's doing the Mustang over there. We have Chinese brands that people have never heard of that's going to come to market, but this is just something special. So how close is this going to be to production?
Yeah, and that's again the same thing. As I said before, we don't want to overpromise, and we're on a good way. We're really aiming to be extremely close to this.
So first we're going to get the Polestar 3.
Yes, exactly. We were talking about this car so much just before that we nearly forgot that there's the whole Polestar 3 in between, which is a huge car for us. That's a very important car.
And you guys have just shown a teaser under this cloth, and I did a video on this where I looked at the Volvo recharge concept, and to me, the front end, the angle of the light and the proportions look very similar. Can you comment on that at all?
Totally. I mean, I can comment. Not really.
Okay.
Not really, because that was also the important thing, that we are now at a point where we clearly, and this is the messenger for this, we really separate the two brands. There was a journey. You remember that Polestar 1 used to be the concept coupe, and that's a good match because this had such a strong performance car genetics in this, so it's the perfect halo car for a new brand, especially if it's a spin-off like we are. But at this point, with Precept, we've shown, okay, now there is no more Volvo genes in a Precept. We did, however, play with the headlamps to just keep a little bit of Thor's hammer feeling in it, but we split them up, as you can see, so they get their own identity, clearly.
Yeah.
But there is some family resemblance. It's a bit like in a family, you know, you move on over time, but you keep a bit of a DNA. But that's why I would say the Polestar 3 is not Volvo.
Okay, and that's so cool. I'm so excited to see it. So this headlight here, we're going to show you guys some B-roll because I'm sitting in front of it. But in Volvo, it's called Thor's hammer. Does it have a name in Polestar?
Actually not. We haven't given it a specific signature name. I think Thor's hammer is such a strong name, and it is in a way an evolution of Thor's hammer into the Polestar world. So I think we decided not to give it a name.
Okay, I just right now talking. Maybe we can call it. You guys, let me know in the comment section. I'm going to invent it now. I'm going to coin a term called starlight headlights, as in Polestar.
Futuristic.
Yeah,
But
because it's a little bit of a star-ish because it's split up and it's Polestar, starlight. I don't know.
Is that right? It kind of has a link to the logo as well. It's the two halves of the star that kind of reassemble, and then the bridge to the Polestar. So I think, it's always nice when these embedded little cues get recognized. So I feel I did my job.
Well, you did. So I'm going to call it, if it's okay from you now, in my videos, when I do Polestar videos in the future with this, I'm going to call it the starlight headlights.
Starlight. Oh, you have to take one.
Yeah, starlight.
Starlights.
The starlights. The starlights.
I didn't. It's yours.
It's mine.
You can have it.
Yeah, I did not think this through. Okay, so I think, is there anything you want to, mention?
Well, I want to, because what you talked about the headlamp, because that was such a big thing at Volvo. But for me, it's quite important that when you do a design, that there is a certain unique selling point or like little features. I call them stories. Something on the top of the recognition pyramid, which you don't see in the first glance, like proportions, like awesome proportions.
Yeah.
But you work your way to it, and then it's a little story, like Thor's hammer at Volvo. And I just told you something about the Smart Zone, which is a funny story, because this is for me another story with this car, that we understood that cars are going from breathing, as in the air intake in the front, to seeing, and we embedded all the sensors in an area that's right in front of the vehicle where the grille used to be, but it's definitely not looking like a grille, and we called it the Smart Zone. And at the time, I have to say, I was very doubtful that the word Smart Zone was available to be protected by us, because everybody walks around with a smartphone. So you would think, hey, how it must be. And actually we managed. So Smart Zone is our expression, and it's a nice little word mark. And you will see that in our fronts of the cars from now on.
Yeah, and that's so cool. So you talked about we're going to show you guys some B-roll over the front of the car where the grille used to be, where it's now where the radars are. And I also asked Max a question because, living in Norway with a lot of snow, we have also wet snow in the winter. The Volvos I've had are the only Volvos that work with pilot assist, with radar guided cruise control in snowy weather, because it's embedded in the windshield where you can, use the wipers. And there's a reason why the LiDAR here is up top, right, on the roof?
Yes, and it's probably the reason why we are living and working in Sweden. And I have to say, we designers in the beginning, we were very doubtful of that position. We were like, come on, it must be able to put it somewhere in the front. But the Swedish engineers were very hard on us to say, no, that's going to go on top. And it works. I mean, it's also a way to showcase technology, which we chose to do in this car, to really say, like, look, we have a LiDAR, we're proud of it. It's an amazing tool, amazing high-tech object to enable level 4 autonomy.
Okay, so we have limited time here with Max, and also there's so much noise here. So we're gonna wrap this interview up, and I'm gonna ask you one last question that everybody is dying to know, and that is, when will the Polestar Precept hit market?
Of course you would ask that question, and I'm going to tell you exactly when. No, I'm not going to do that. But what's special with this car is that I don't know if you've seen it, but we have a little YouTube documentary that we're running out of Polestar, so it's made by us, which follows us, me, the guys, the whole team, the engineering team, and then as we progress there will be more and more teams involved in the development of this car. So we're quite transparent of like, look, this is where we are, that's how it looks even. I mean, it is quite a revealing documentary that for me is new. Working in such a high-tech environment, high confidentiality environment, we don't normally get that much exposure in that sense. So this is quite an interesting one to watch. So if you want to gather any cues, feel free.
We'll link it so people can watch it.
Yeah, that's fun.
So, but do you have any time for the release?
Let's first focus on Polestar 3 because that's rather soon, and that's for us a very big milestone. And then you can imagine how much we're working on at the moment, but then we come gradually to Precept.
Okay, so thank you so much, Max. Thanks for your time. And guys, I hope you enjoyed the interview, and we're going to continue on with the tour of the Polestar Precept. Now let's take a look at the Polestar Precept, guys. And this thing in person is such a stunning and beautiful design. So guys, be sure to drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button and sound that notification bell for more future videos here from the IAA. And thanks a lot to Head of Design at Polestar, Max Missoni, for, well, showing us the car and doing this interview. That is such a privilege, guys. So these wheels are amazing. These are 22s, two 95/30s in the rear, and also you have two 55/35 22s in the front. These are so huge. But the big question is, how close is this thing going to be to production? Well, Max has a very good track record of his designs, making it very close to, well, production. So I have confidence that this is going to be close. And as Max talked about, he tries to, think of that in his designs, that he doesn't want to, disappoint himself and disappoint the public. But this thing, guys, is such a beautiful and stunning thing, and it's huge in real life. This has to be, I don't know, it's like S-Class size. It has to be way over 5 meters long, and it's low, and it sits so nicely. And then looking at the rear here, guys, we have this, like an air scarf, these blades here, which, as Max said, will make the air swerve around here instead of sticking to the car, which would give it low drag efficient. And as Max said, I tried to ask him, so what's the drag efficient? He said, no, it's damn low. He couldn't give me a number, but he said damn low. So that is pretty cool. Quote from Max himself. But look at these rear lights also. Yeah, we can't open the trunk here. This is, again, one of two in the world, guys, and we have the chance to see it, and I have the chance to show you guys. And then we have this carbon composite material on the lower part. I don't know if this is going to make it into production, but it's very expensive, but it looks damn cool with this side skirt. Look at this, guys. Look how this cuts in, and then you have the air duct there on the other side. And then you have charge port on this side, and then there should be one on the other side. The CCS is going to be on the other side. And then this also, being the concept, has the camera mirrors. I don't know if these are going to make it into production. I'm not a huge fan of camera mirrors. I hope they just keep, the frameless mirrors they have had on other Polestars, like the two we have over there and the one we have in there. But guys, let me know in the comment section down below. Do you like the design of this? Do you prefer it to other things? I think in person it does look stunning. I'm waiting to see it in other colors. I think they have this, and do they have that one that is white? I'm not sure. I am not sure. And as Max was talking about, so you have the smart zone down here, which is a term they have trademarked, usually where the grill is, but here you have a camera, you have radars flanking the camera on each side, and then you have air ducts down here for cooling. It looks like this can open and close, and then you have more of that carbon composite material. It looks so cool. I do like this silver paint color though. And then you have the headlights, and then you have this cool line here. This is probably, yeah, to let through air. Look at that, guys, for aerodynamics. And then up top you have the LiDAR, and I'm pretty, satisfied that they chose to keep this up top. I don't know if it's going to be more integrated into the roof, but this is also to showcase tech, to be a talking point. But the nice thing about having it up top, like you have on the Volvo XC90 with the cameras and radar, is that you can have it working in winter when there's snow. Usually cars have it down here in the grill. That gets covered up by snow really quickly. So having it up top is very, very nice. Okay, so I don't know, here you have the charge port for the CCS, should be on this side. And I'll show you guys enough on the exterior. Let's maybe take a look at the interior, or I'll hunker down here so I can show you guys the rear end. It's such a nice looking thing. And as you guys can see, there's no rear windscreen here. So they've decided to do that because of rigidity in the structure, and we'll see that when we walk in. So guys, let's take a walk on the inside. Again, this has the suicide doors. Okay, there we go. And then they both open up. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Okay, of course, this is not going to make it into production without a B-pillar, but it may, yeah, make it into production with the suicide door. So look at this opening, guys. You could open the other side and you could just jump right through. It's so cool. Frameless windows also. These are very thick. This is, yeah, this is a concept car. But this is so cool. Also, you have look at that. You have actually functioning mirrors there with the screens. But this thing is so cool. And let's take a look at that glass roof. Look at that. So because they've moved the rear windscreen, they've been able to move the structure beam that usually sits in the roof all the way back. So you have this expansive glass roof from behind the rear headrest and all the way to the front like that. Look at that. That is such a cool thing. And when I step in here, I'm going to show you guys just how crazy this is. I'm going to turn around the camera. Look at this, guys. Look at that. This is the most spectacular and beautiful sunroof or glass roof I have ever seen in any car. And also, it's the camera catching this. Look at this. This is a hologram of the Polestar. Look at that. Look at that. That is so cool. Just a fun bit that they've decided to put in here to make, it a little bit more interesting. And then you have coordinates of the polar star there on top of that crystal. That is so cool. I don't know if that's going to make it into production. Probably not. But also these seats are so nice. And look at this legroom, guys. This is such a huge cabin. Oh, this is such a nice thing. I could travel long distance with this. Also, you have this armrest here, you have audio controls, and also this lighting, guys. So this is the same composite material we have on the exterior, and it's just backlit. And the ambiance in here is so nice. We first sat in here with it off, and then Max turned it on. It's really cozy. It's what we would call in Norway for koselig, or you would call in Swedish for mysig. I don't know, you don't have a proper English word for that. But look at this, guys. And I do apologize. Ford have a stand over here. They're really loud. Maybe I can close up the doors here and show you guys the rest of the interior. But look at this. Look at that huge screen. This is a 15-inch screen. And then you have the LED strip across the dashboard like that. And also, this is a vegan material. A vegan leather, and this is one of the nicest vegan leathers I have ever felt in any car. This feels very close to Nappa leather that Volvo have in their Volvos, and also Polestar has in the Polestar 2 and the Polestar 1. It's a really nice material, and as I've said in previous videos, as of late, is if the automakers are working to make these vegan leathers nice, we're gonna have nice materials very soon. And if this makes it into production, this is a very nice and impressive material. Let's take a look at the front seat now, guys. We had to, stop the video because Ford over there were so loud with the loudspeakers and having a show. And I do apologize, guys. This is a noisy show. But okay, check out this steering wheel. This is so cool. This is the new steering wheel that's also going to be seen in Volvos, hopefully. This is probably going to be very close to production, I can imagine, and also the switchgear here with the stalks. And what's interesting is that you can see they moved the wiper washers to the left side, because here on the right side, we have the gear selector. Let's see if we can move this seat backwards. Yes, we can. So you can see here the gear selector here on the right side. This is going to be really cool, and you can't even move that. That's no. Is this to twist? No, it's just this is a concept car, so you can't do anything much. So this is a 15-inch screen. They do not have a demo for this that we can see, and then they have this screen here, which is very, very cool. And look, if this is close to production with the animation and the graphics, it's going to be so nice. This is a very high resolution screen. It is so beautiful, and the design here is so nice, so simple, and so airy and elegant. And you also have that that backlit material that's not going to make it into production, but it looks so cool here in this concept. And then you have the center console here. I don't know, this you can't open. Probably this is going to be some storage in the future, but I know it's a nice place to have a wireless charging pad, right, to put your phone, so that will be cool. Also, guys, check out the pedals. Plus and minus, that's so cool. Plus and minus, that is so cool. So I love this steering wheel design. I hope they don't go to capacitive buttons. I hope these stay as hard buttons. But also, guys, they have the leather on the steering wheel, on the airbag. I've been talking about that for so long that they have to do that. Yeah, this is a really nice steering wheel. I am a fan of this design. And then you have this fabric on top here. It's very similar to what you find in the Polestar 2, actually. So it's a really nice design, and also the doors here. Look at these beautiful armrests on the doors, and also these seats, guys. I'm going to have to back up. You got to see these seats. These are so cool. And as Max said, there's going to be a B pillar here, of course, and the seat belt will be attached to the B pillar and not the actual seat back here. But this is some beautiful, beautiful hardware. And of course, this being a Polestar, it has the gold seat belts. Yeah, it looks really, really cool. Can you even move this? No, you can't move that, because you can see the latch there for the seat belt. No, I mean, this interior is a beautiful, beautiful interior. And now it's a little bit more quiet, guys. So that is really, really nice. But overall, this thing is such a beautiful thing, and it's so spacious in the rear. And look at the flat floor here. And again, I'm so impressed by this material, this vegan leather. And then you also have this fabric here, this cross-knit fabric, which is similar to what you would find on trainers. So it's really cool, this material. Yeah, so I think that is the interior. Oh, we can show this is, so on top you have the eye tracker with the tweeter. I hope they're going to keep the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. Bowers & Wilkins as a supplier, but I mean, this thing is so cool. So there we have it, guys. That was this video, the interview with Max Missoni, head of design at Polestar. Huge thanks to him, a huge thanks to Polestar for, well, making this happen on such short notice, and also the tour of the Polestar Precept. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always, guys, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.